light the fire. You place the flowers in the vase that you bought today. Staring at the fire for hours and hours while I listen to you play your love songs all night long. For me, only for me. Come to me now and rest your head for just 5 minutes. Everything is done. Such a cozy room. The windows are illuminated by the evening sunshine through them. Fiery gems for you, only for you. Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And la 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 la. Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And now I'll light the fire while you place the flowers in the vase that
soon the pines will be falling everywhere. Village children always fighting for their share. And the 609 goes roaring down the creek as Parson Lee prepares his service for next week. I saw Grandma yesterday down at the store. Yeah, she's really looking fine for 84. And she asked me if sometime I'd fix the barn. Poor old girl, she needs a man down on the farm. And it's good old country comforts in my bones. Just the sweetest sound my ears have ever known. Just an old-fashioned feeling in my bones. Country comforts and the road that's going home. says, 'cause he's a horse-drawn man until his dying days. And it's good old country comforts in my bones, just the sweetest sound my ears have ever known, just an old-fashioned feeling in my bones. Country comforts and the road that's going home, and it's good old country comforts in my bones, just the sweetest sound my ears have ever known, just an old-fashioned feeling in my bones. Country comforts and the road that's going home, and it's good old country comforts in my bones, just the sweetest sound my ears have ever known, just an old-fashioned feeling in my bones. Country comforts and the road that's going home, country comforts and the road that's going home, country comforts and the road that's going home, country comforts and the road that's going home. There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost, but you never see the end of the road while you're traveling with me. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us. We know they won't win. Now I'm towing my car, there's a hole in the roof. My possessions are causing me suspicion, but there's no proof. In the paper today, tales of war and waste, but you turn right over to the TV page. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us. We know they won't win. shadows of